So today's plan is to redesign a client's website. So I thought it would be a good idea to take you along the journey or at least outline parts of my process so that it can help you if you're designing websites for clients, if you are part of an agency or if you're running an agency yourself. Maybe there's some stuff you can take away from my process that can help you moving forward in the future. The very first thing that I like to do when I start designing a website is get on the phone with the client directly. There's no point in designing a website for somebody if we don't understand their business. So the very first priority, if you want to sell an expensive website, is understand the business and the business needs of the person you're working with. So let me just walk you through quickly my process for that. I've just hopped in here to Screen Studio, which is my screen recording software that I use. Hello, you're over here. My screen is here, so I'm going to be looking over this way. Here we have a Google form that I fill out either with clients or I send it over to them before our call. Typically, I like to do it with them because you can tease better answers out of the client if you better understand them because you're interacting with them. This is a really easy way to fill up your consultation call. If you don't have a structure to it, it's really important to have a structure. And a lot of the questions here are going to help you understand the business of the client, their goals, and especially their customers, because ultimately the website should be for the customer of the client, not necessarily for the client. So let's take a look at this. We always start with the email because if you make a Google form with no email address, you might not know who filled out the form. So that's really important, and that's the only required question that I have here. Then we go into the business stuff. So a short summary of the business, what it is, what you do. Why does your business exist? Now, this is a really important question because we're talking about the story behind the business here. And this is important because it helps people connect with that brand. So as we're building out the brand, we're going to be thinking about why does this business exist? What's going to make people or clients connect with this business? Because this is going to be key for our messaging as we're designing the website. So we want to get all of this information. Why does the business exist? What problems are your customers trying to solve? Why did they choose you? How are they finding you? What's your mission statement or tagline? So we're trying to really build an understanding of the business at this moment. And then the client's goals, where are they aiming for? A lot of times clients have this short-term idea of I'm going to make a website so I can then get more clients or more conversions or very short-term kind of goals. But when we reel it in, they're going to be thinking, okay, no, in 5 years, I want to be XYZ, different location, like charging a lot more. So then you can kind of say, well, shouldn't we be focusing on your ideal clients and your ideal ultimate outcome instead of trying to sell everything to everybody? Because that's what I find a lot with these small, medium enterprises. The client is trying to sell everything to everybody. So that's impossible for us to do in a website. It's much easier to speak to one person. So let's narrow that by understanding the client's business goals for the future, because then we can start to understand their customers. So here we have customer questions. We have where are they right now? What problems are they facing? So we can learn how to speak to people. If you understand the client and you understand their customers, you can then build out how are we going to communicate with these customers? How are we going to connect with them? We do that through stories, through understanding their problems, understanding their ideal situations. So all of these things need to be asked in the discovery call. We want to understand who are we trying to ultimately reach? Who's the ideal candidate? Because if you're trying to serve everybody all the time, let's say you are a builder and you want to build conservatories for clients in Dublin, okay? If you're constantly trying to take on little projects like building small sheds in the back garden, yeah, that's going to keep you afloat, but they're not your ideal customers. So if you're getting those gigs anyway, that business, you want to focus on getting the big projects, the mansions out in Dalkey or the fancy areas that want a full renovation and a full conservatory build. because that's ultimately where your business wants to go. So that's who we should be talking to when we're designing the website. So it's really important to understand this when we're building the website, when we're talking to the clients as a web designer. Your role is to help them reach their long-term goals. So try and narrow their focus. And I guarantee you, when you're asking clients these questions, they're going to fall in love with you as a web designer because nobody has asked them these questions. Business owners love to talk about their business. They like to feel like you're helping their business, not just painting pretty pictures for them on a website. So these are really important questions to build your relationship with the client, but also to deliver the best possible project for them. We look at their competitors. This will help you as a designer to understand what the big guys are doing in their industry, and you can copy some of their content, some of the imagery, the language, maybe the structure of their website. Where are they placing their offers? Do they have pricing on the website? Do they not have pricing on the website? All of these things are going to be really useful for you, understanding the competitors. So try and get 3 competitors. What do they like about them? The first answer they're going to say is, I hate them, because they're their competitors. But if you dig a little bit deeper, you can start to understand, okay, well, they like that they are efficient. They like that they're trusted. They like something about them. So you can take that information and try and communicate that on your website that you're designing for them. What do you dislike about them? This is usually to do with their service or something. And that will help you differentiate the client's business from their competitors. So if the client says, oh, I don't like how they onboard, let's say it's a marketing agency. Oh, I don't like how they onboard people and they're all hype at the start and then they just disregard them when they go into maintenance mode. We don't do that. Okay, well then that's your differentiator. So that's a focal point of the website when we're designing it. So this might seem like a lot, but if you have the right mindset as a web designer, going into these meetings and understanding the client's business and where they're trying to go, you are bringing a huge amount of value, and that's how you price your websites a lot higher. At least that's what I do. What do you admire about them? What do you dislike about them? What is going to make your ideal client choose you over them? So we're always thinking ideal client. We're not thinking let's sell everything to everybody. We're thinking who's the ideal client and focusing on them. Then we look at the brand. What colors, what imagery, what words come to mind when they want to imagine their brand. Are they luxury? Are they friendly? Are they modern? Are they small town? Are they local family? You know, what kind of words can we use to describe the business? How do we want to be perceived? Colors, things like this. We're getting into branding here. A lot of times, smaller clients, they might not even care. They might say, oh, leave it to you. Okay. Bigger brands are going to care. Okay. So you're going to work with their colors, their logos, their brands, and go from there. What 3 brands do you love the design of? This is great because it gives you something to reach for. If they already love the Apple website and then you design a website for them that looks like the Apple website, they're going to love it. So it gives you something to kind of aim at as well. So we're looking at their competitors, but also their inspiration. All right. I rocked through all of these questions. Logos, typography, etc. Marketing, how are you getting people there? What's your plan for marketing in the future? Maybe that's something you want to offer as well. I offer SEO and basic Google Ads setup at the moment. So I will offer that as a service additionally for ongoing revenue and recurring revenue for me, which is great. And it also, you know, you put in all this work at the start and you build this relationship with the client. You want to keep it going and you want to help them as much as you possibly can. And then the website, this is just kind of basics. What do they currently have? Why do they want a new one? What do they think a new website will do for them is really important. Like, what are they expecting from this website? And usually, in my case, it's to drive more leads and more conversions, and that's my speciality. So that is it. I've just gone through this form. I do this with every client to understand everything I possibly need to know. And then what I do is I take this response. They will submit this form, or I will submit this form on the website while I'm doing my discovery call with them. I hit send. It goes to a Google Sheet, which I can't show you right now, just for GDPR reasons. I can't show you what clients have been saying. But this is one I just created now. When they hit send, it goes into the Google Sheet, and I'll take that and I'll put it into ChatGPT and ask it to create a summary report for me. And that's going to give me all of the details about the brand and about the website, and it gives me something to work for. And then I'll create a Google Drive folder for that brand, and I'll put in this discovery call report. Okay. I then work from that report to build my messaging story. Okay. So there's a really good book called Building a Story Brand, and I use that to help me build out a story that we're trying to tell the client's customers in order to build our website, which is a sales funnel essentially. And yeah, that's my onboarding process essentially. I take my bookings through Calendly at the moment, which is free to set up. I use Google Workspace to manage everything. So my professional email and everything all runs through that. I have Google Drive with pretty decent memory in order to get clients to upload assets, to share documents with them, and all that type of thing. And then I have a few email templates that I send out directly after the call. And that's really important. So when we're doing this onboarding, I do all this stuff for free at the beginning. And it's about communicating professionalism to the client. So when I go through all of these questions and this Google form, they're understanding me and how I work, but they're also really enjoying the professionalism. And what's most professional is when I immediately send them an email following the call that has the summary of what we've talked about and everything, so they can use it, because they're going to discover stuff that they didn't think about, and they're going to be really happy when you send it to them. And then I send them their marketing story, brand story as well, and what we're going to use and their plan. I also send them a link to an invoice which is requesting 50% payment for the service up front so we can get started. And the idea with that is you cover yourself, the client commits to your business, and you can get started on the design phase and the next phase of the process. So if you think that this is an interesting concept, if you've enjoyed this onboarding process, let me know and I can make more of these types of videos for you, just walking you through the process of onboarding. It can be complicated, but when you have something like this to structure your process, it's really, really useful. So let me know if you enjoyed this down in the comments, and hit subscribe if you would like to see more of these. So that's it for now. Ciao.